Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Times, 2 hours ago, Merrick, Garland, indict Donald Trump. Evidence demands it. And then you have the Baltimore Sun, a Trump indictment is overdue. And then MSNBC News, how to indict Trump in 2022. Mueller vet responds to hearing. Yeah, the Mueller probe found nothing. Nothing. The whole reason for the Mueller probe special counsel was to find collusion between Trump and another country. Nobody was ever indicted on conspiring alongside any intelligence official of any country. The only political side that actually paid to obtain a dossier compiled by officials within that country that Trump was alleged to have been installed by was the Democratic Party, Clinton, and the DNC with the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier was compiled from officials, government officials, allegedly, in that country that was supposed to have installed Donald Trump. So the Mueller probe found nothing. The evidence was not sufficient. You can look, it was what page, 13 or 14 on the Mueller probe. There were 2 or 3 paragraphs talking about evidence wasn't sufficient for a campaign finance violation. Evidence wasn't sufficient to prove that Trump conspired with any foreign intelligence official. Evidence wasn't sufficient. Okay, this was an entire hoax. But see, you have to understand the emotional and the psychological component here. Democrats spent about a decade watching Trump on The Apprentice and listening to music where they mentioned Trump or seeing Donald Trump in Home Alone as cameos in different movies, watching a 2020 interview with him and Ivana Trump, and it's a terrible, terrible thing that she just passed away, and it's absolutely really disgusting that Twitter and morally superior, wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats had hashtag wrong Trump trending. I mean, these are the people who call Trump a bully. They're the biggest bullies on the planet. But that's another story. They couldn't find anything with Trump's tax returns, with Stormy, with Russia, with any. They can't find anything. Now they're going after a phone call, the same type of phone call that Lindsey Graham made also in Georgia, and because of the Cassidy Hutchinson testimony where he commandeered a limousine and he threw his dinner at the wall and he lunged at a Secret Service agent. This is, of course, third-party hearsay, rumor, and gossip. Okay, you testify under oath knowing very well that nobody is going to ever accuse you of perjury. So and then they say, well, it's credible. The witness is credible. Well, there are credible allegations against Joe. Remember the hot mic with Trump? Well, Joe Biden was actually accused of having done that. And look at how the New York Times and others treated his accuser. Well, okay, you're talking about the height of duplicity. But, you have Hunter with emails stating, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? And then his father forcing out a prosecutor, or if it happened after the email or before, it really doesn't matter, because there was $1 million transferred into his bank account because he was on the board of directors. He was only on the board of directors of an energy company because of potential access to the United States government, not because of his vast knowledge on oil and gas. Then you have 150 potentially fraudulent, or you have 150 financial transactions deemed concerning, from banks that are transactions Hunter, James, and Joe were a part of. Then you have emails saying that Hunter gives 10% of his earnings to Joe. Then you have emails thanking Hunter for helping business people and billionaires or millionaires meet his father, the vice president. And we can go on forever. Kushner and Ivanka do not have this. They don't have the emails and the voicemails. But see, again, they don't have the 150 suspicious banking transactions. They were wealthy prior. Jared Kushner's family is like $1.8 billion. There was a Forbes article where they said the Forbes article was about them taking a pay cut. Joe Biden was known to have the least amount of money in the Senate for decades until he left. So he went from like $100,000 in financial net worth to like $10 million. And then they said, well, it was his speeches and his books. Have you read a book from Joe? Have you heard him speak lately? Okay, it's not his speeches. So how did he get that money? Okay, maybe it has to do with Hunter and clear violations of the law. That's why people give money to the Bill and Hillary's Foundation. Okay, the way that the Washington Post or New York Times or MSNBC and CNN see things is that money can go into a foundation and into the bank account of Hunter and Joe or James, and that's okay. There's no reason other than altruism and good business. But Trump said march peacefully, never told anyone to do anything criminal, never organized any criminal activity, but because people say he knew, people say that he was aware, people say that he was cognizant of a whole bunch of different things, therefore we have to indict him. So the psychological and emotional component here, and by the way, hit subscribe to this channel and hit subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dow is going to get to below 30,000. I've been saying that for a long time. And we have to deal with the issue of nuclear confrontation and tensions increasing. I mean, there was a public service announcement in New York that I talked about on that channel. So just warning everyone of a potential nuclear strike. Gee, at least Trump isn't tweeting. But also subscribe to the Bitcoin 10K oil prices 150 recession channel. I'll do a segment on that today. So subscribe to all three if you want to support my work. My Patreon is below. And I might not have a live stream tonight, but I should have one tomorrow evening. But ladies and gentlemen, they can't indict him because he didn't commit a crime. They could have indicted Clinton. She committed crimes by transferring top secret intelligence onto private servers. That's a crime. That is a crime. You can't really get a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat to actually pay attention for more than 2 seconds to actually admit, yes, that is an actual crime, to transfer classified data onto private servers. If there's a split second where you get them and they're not in their apoplectic frenzy to kind of like say, okay, that's true, or at least say that's not true, in which case they would be either ignorant or lying. But anyway, it is not legal to do so. You cannot do so. By the way, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I want to redo 2016. We need to relive 2016. I'm like a dinosaur of 2016, by the way. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders is the most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I support Trump because I want a great economy and a great foreign policy. He needs to do a better job of communicating that to everyone, and everyone else, the entire country needs to understand that this man is more than just his tweets. He was a great president in terms of accomplishments. If the media melted down, that's not the problem of Trump supporters and of Trump. Again, Donald Trump, he played the media in the beginning of his presidency or to get to the presidency, and then the media circled the wagons, basically colluded with late night, or at least in unison, late night Hollywood, social media algorithms. I mean, everything is stacked against Trump. So so the fact that he has already higher favorability ratings than mashed potato brains. We have a recession. We have a geopolitical nightmare. Oil prices will skyrocket back up to where they were again, unfortunately. We're going to see layoffs. We're seeing layoffs right now. Inflation is going to get higher than 9.1%. Okay, there's a scarcity of commodities and goods, and demand has outpaced supply for fossil fuels, for oil and gas. So Biden was originally getting sued by oil and gas companies, and now he's getting sued by environmental groups because he's trying to flood strategic petroleum reserves into the country because his initial policies were abject failures. And so then he reversed course, and that, of course, got the environmental groups upset. He's, I think, the only president to be sued by both oil and gas companies and environmental groups. And he has, a 30-something% approval rating? It's like abysmal. But everybody knows that, mashed potato brains, they don't even, Democrats don't even want him to run again. That's how horrible he is. But see, again, the Democrats there's always a chance they indict Trump. This is the thing. They don't have anything to stand on in terms of accomplishments. The economy is in free fall. It's going to get worse, much worse. We're going to see a stock market crash of far greater proportions than we've seen. And I predicted all of that in September of 2021. And hit subscribe, tell your friends about this channel. But they want to indict him on hearsay and gossip, and they think that is enough. They think hearsay, gossip, rumor, and you can testify under oath, gossip, hearsay, and rumor. The notion, the idea or the statement, the claim that, it's under oath, so what? A lot of the things Michael Cohen accused Trump of were under oath. None of them panned out. Okay? And also you can commit perjury. So you can lie under oath, which Clapper and Brennan and others have done. Comey almost certainly did. And so, just because you're testifying under oath, Tony Bobulinski can testify under oath. Douglas Campbell of the Uranium One saga testified under oath. This was all against Democrats. When anyone's testifying against Democrats, it's just their opinion. But when it's a witness against Kavanaugh or Trump, it's credible. They've redefined words. Like democracy is now the Democratic Party. Credibility is whatever's good for the Democratic Party. Anyway, there's a chance that they do indict Trump. In which case you'd get DeSantis or you'd get Trump defeating the Democrat. Or winning a trial and defeating the Democrat. So, he should run sooner rather than later. Okay, that would be amazing if today or this week he decides, or next week, or this weekend he decides to just announce. But they don't have anything on him. They never had anything on him. They were mortified that he actually defeated Clinton. They still haven't gotten over it. And 30 years of the Clintons bending and breaking the rules, laws, private servers with top secret intel, Hunter, with a video of him weighing narcotics. They really don't have, and then you have a recession, then you have a geopolitical nightmare in Europe. They don't have anything to show for, 4 years of governing in Congress and 2 years thus far in the executive. I have nothing to show but failures. The only thing they have is media and public relations, and so it's a possibility that they do indict Trump. They can't indict him on any actual criminal act. They'll try to accuse him of a crime. I don't think they can. I don't think they can indict him without losing a trial or emboldening Trump more, because half the electorate knows that everybody from late night to Merrick Garland to top publications have it out for Trump. How many writers at the Washington Post are Trump supporters? Is there anyone at the Washington Post? Is there even one person at the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, the New Yorker, Esquire, Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone, Mother Jones, The Nation, Los Angeles Times? Is there one person at Twitter? Is there one person who voted for Trump? Is there one person at the DOJ who voted for Trump? Maybe the DOJ, maybe more than one person, maybe. But is there anyone who voted for Trump at in this entire public relations monstrosity of American political media? No, very few. You have New York Post, yes, they deserve Pulitzer Prizes. Daily Mail deserves a Pulitzer Prize. They're wonderful journalists at the Federalist. They deserve Pulitzer Prizes. And so you have, I mean, the Wall Street Journal has some good journalists too. Really good ones. And so, but again, all of media is leveled against Trump. You don't have many, like, even the committee, there's not even one Trump supporter. It's almost as if 70 plus million Americans don't exist. They've completely erased 70 plus million Americans from existence. So Trump is this abomination, this aberration, this abnormality, this anomaly. Yet he exists, and he didn't commit a crime. Isn't that interesting? And they're stuck with, oh my God, let's investigate him more. Now they have a phone call. Have you read the transcript of the phone call? It's boring. It's him stating what he truly believes, and Raffensperger then refuting it or giving his opinion. That's it. And then Raffensperger says, well, thank you, Mr. President. Doesn't end like, the end of the month. But everything, they overreach. They always engage in overreach. There's always this like, oh, democracy. They cheated Bernie Sanders two primaries in a row. They don't even have a functioning primary. Okay. Then they cover up and suspend and suppress and censor any stories about Hunter 2 years ago. Then they say, oh, it was true. I mean, most Americans don't trust media. Most Americans can't stand Biden. Most Americans are prepared to change Congress, and this House and Senate will become Trump Republican. Okay. Like, Herschel Walker is a hero in Georgia. That's like, I don't know, like, the polls are hilarious. Herschel Walker is like a beloved, heroic, not just athlete, business owner. Like, he's loved in the state of Georgia. He's like a mythical, like, legendary athlete, Heisman Trophy winner. But more than that, like, he's a huge part of the culture and the history of that state. So it's like, the polls are kind of hilarious. The people who look at, and you haven't even really heard the negatives or the history or the past or anything of his opponent, who is currently senator. So anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. I mean, like, you see this desperate attempt to kind of, even the polls are like, oh yeah, some of these Trump Republicans are down. It's like, well, not really. Look at Biden's approval rating and the economy. It's July right now. August, September, October. The economy, unfortunately, is going to get worse. Not better. Worse. We might have a negative third quarter also. We'll officially be in a recession, and oil prices will continue per barrel to go up, not down. This will be a very bizarre recession where oil prices go up because interest rates are going up also. And there's a whole lot of other reasons that I get to on my other channel. So the Bitcoin 10K oil prices 150 recession channel. I'll do more segments on that. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the nuclear confrontation and stock market crash channel. Unfortunately, both of those are happening, and I predicted that in September of 2021. Watch the playlist below in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, be here. Be here in a couple of hours. I'll have a segment in a couple of hours. Thank you so very, very much.